Let's have a serious talk. Let's keep it 1,000. Bring back segregation. I know that might sound crazy to people, but for real, I want to know where people are welcome and where they're not. I would like to see the signs. I would like to see the places where people are not welcome, because if a kid can't play in a park and make a mistake, where could a kid play at? Today we're talking about this situation with this lady in Minnesota. Her name is Shilo Hendrix, and calling a 5-year-old kid out of their name. I'm going to tell y'all a story about myself that the reason why I'm going to tell y'all that is because this resonates with me, because I had the same thing happen to me when I was 5 years old and I was in kindergarten, right? So this woman was in a park and she's alleging that this 5-year-old kid stole her baby's diaper bag. A 5-year-old kid picking up a diaper bag probably don't know what the kid don't even know what they doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's keep it 1,000. The kid don't even know what they doing. And this might be shocking to people, but I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked at all, because we'd like to have this idea that we live in this world of this rainbow coalition where everybody likes one another and everybody's going to get along, but that's never going to happen. It's never been meant to happen, and it never will. And the reason why I say bring segregation back and put up the signs and all that is because at least we would know, right? Being a black man, being black in this country, as much as I love it, is one of the most exhausting things that I've ever endured in my life. And that's my everyday existence. And the reason why is because I got to deal with hate from everybody, especially the people that act like they're not deceiving, the people who try to pretend as if everything's cool and everything's included and, you know, things are okay. And don't you guys got didn't you guys have a black president and y'all have so much representation? Like, out of here, bro. Seeing something like this, it brought back a lot of memories. It brought back a lot of memories. But let's watch the video. I want to watch the video. And then after we watch the video, I'm going to give y'all my story about how my first grade teacher called me the N-word hard ER and how I endured a lot from that mental trauma.
Call him a nigger, the child?
The fuck you talking
Did you
about?
call the child the nigger word?
None of your fucking business.
It is my own business. You call him a nigger? Okay, why don't you have the boss to say it right now again?
Fuck you, nigger.
Okay. Alright, that's what you say.
You don't go digging through people's shit, you dumb fuck.
Nobody dig into your shit.
A little fucking kid just did, you dumbass.
That little kid, you call him a nigger?
Yeah.
The little child?
What if he acts like one, he's gonna...
Are you about to hit him? You chase him here?
He took my son's stuff.
So that gives you the right to call the child, 5-year-old, a nigger, the N-word.
If that's what he's gonna act
That's
like.
what you're gonna call him.
That's what he's gonna act like.
You know, that's a hate speech. And you can be recorded for that.
I don't give a shit.
Huh.
Fuck off.
Okay, we'll see about that, what the internet has to say about you.
Now, I want to salute Shamarky Omar. I want to salute Shamarky Omar because him putting himself out there, recording this lady. I know we complain about phones and cameras being everywhere, but imagine the stuff that, if it's not documented, how it would go. You know what I mean? Imagine if there was no proof behind it. This lady stood 10 toes on what she said. She didn't care what nobody had to say about it. She didn't care how nobody felt. She said, this kid stole my baby's bag. All right, bet. But that's not the most shocking thing in this whole situation. So this lady started a GiveSendGo, right? And out of her $1 million goal, she has raised $750,000. I'm going to say that again. This lady, this grown-ass woman, disrespected a child, talked crazy to a child, got on camera, quadrupled down on what she said, called the man out of his name too, that she ain't know, don't feel no way about it, and she basically got a lotto ticket out of this shit. I'm not surprised at all, yo. I'm not surprised at all, and I hope ain't none of y'all surprised neither, because that's what we dealing with in this planet. This is why I say so many times when we having these podcasts and we talking about the man versus woman and the 50-50s and what a real man wants in a woman and what a woman wants in a man, we don't even realize how behind the 8 ball we is. We don't even realize how much war we at. Never mind World War III and what's going on. We in wars with our own communities. If a child can't play in a park and make a mistake and still be a child and not have to go through some sort of mental trauma, where's the child safe at? So let me take y'all down memory lane, and I'm gonna talk about how this lady said to get this money, right? But when I was in the first grade, I had a teacher by the name of Miss Kaufman. I went to PS 103 in the Bronx. Anybody who's from uptown in the Bronx, in the 200s, you know where this is at. I was in the first grade. I'm 42 years old and I still remember this. This lady, Miss Kaufman, she would never let me play. Like I'm talking about like every Friday that would come up when you got recess, like end of the day, this lady would not allow me to play. She used to always make me sit down on the floor. And I didn't think nothing of it. I was a little kid, you know what I'm saying? And I remember sitting on the floor and having my shirt, my hands up under my shirt. And she came over to me and she put a foot on me and she like kind of kicked me, right? And she was like, take your hands from under your shirt. And I didn't say anything. And then she knelt down real close to me. And she said, you know what, Wayne? You're not never going to be nothing but another good. And I didn't even understand. I'm going to keep it 100 at 5 years old. That's not a word that was said in my household. I was raised by my moms and my grandmoms. That wasn't a word that they said in the house. So when I came home and I asked my mother, what is that word and what does it mean? She said, who said that to you? I said, my teacher. My mother started crying. And I remember being a kid, my moms and my grandmoms and my great-grandmother lived to be 104 years old. But I remember my grandmother and my mother coming to school and confronting this lady. And I remember sitting at the end of the table, and she was sitting at the end of the table, and everybody was sitting in between. And when they asked me, did she say this, the principal or whomever was a dean, asked me, did she say this to you? I remember looking at this lady and her looking in my face and saying, and that's kind of like the extent. I would have to ask my moms. I'm gonna ask my moms probably today or tomorrow, like what happened in that time. But again, like I said, I didn't know what that word meant when I was a kid. And then when I got older and I realized like when a white person used that word to describe a black person, how it like what they meant by it. And I started to believe that shit. I'm gonna keep it 1,000. I started to believe that I'd be nothing. My teenage years, when I really started like going through a lot of confusion, I lived in 5 different places and went to 5 different schools in 5 years. 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, and 9th grade, I lived in 5 different places and went to 5 different schools. So I didn't really have a structure or any type of grounding when it came to like having the same friends, talking about what y'all gonna do in high school, talking about one day going to college. I didn't have that experience. And then at that time, especially when I got in the 8th grade, I was living in a shelter. Then we moved from the Bronx to Harlem. It was a lot going on. There's a whole lot going on. But when I seen this, it made me think of this. I don't even know the kid. You can't even see the kid in the video. But it made me think about what this young boy is potentially going to go through in his life. And I hope he don't go through the shit that I went through. The doubt, you know what I mean? The acceptance of somebody saying something negative to you and you starting to believe that that's what you are because of maybe due to your circumstances, the neighborhood I lived in, things I see. I felt hopeless as a kid. And that's not the whole foundation of it, but it's definitely a part of it. It's definitely a part of it. So this woman, she put up this this GiveSendGo, and it says, my name is Shiloh, and I've been put into a very dire situation. I recently had a kid steal from my 18-month-old son's diaper bag at a park. I called the kid out for what he was. A 5-year-old kid, yo, that shit, all right, bet. Because now I'm starting to get a little emotional about it. But it says, I called the kid out for what he was. Another man who we recently found out has a history with law enforcement, which will go to his video, proceeded to record me and follow me to my car. He then posted these videos online, which has caused my family and myself great turmoil. My social security number has been leaked. My address and phone number have been given out freely. My family members are being attacked. My eldest child may not be going back to school even where our exercise has been exposed. Oh, people found out what gym she go to. How bad for her. I'm asking for your help to assist in protecting my family. I fear that we must relocate. I have 2 small children who do not deserve this. We have been threatened to the extreme by people online. Anything will help. We cannot and will not live in fear. Thank you. She says, I have 2 small children who don't deserve this. So you mean to tell me, see, that's the thing about that word. I know we use it amongst our own peer group. And I hate when I see people try to make that word into a term of endearment for everybody. Like, yo, nah, yo, you could come to the cookout, use that word. It evokes a certain level of emotion, whether you like to accept it or not. And for all the people who say, oh, it's just a word, it's just a word, it's just this, it's just that, I hope y'all don't feel no way when y'all see this then. So y'all should be supporting this woman. If you feel like everybody can say this word or it's just a word, again, yo, I'm just thinking about the mental trauma that little boy is going to go through for the next how many years of his life. I don't know his mother, his father, his family, or his circumstances or whatever he has. He's a child, but no child, even if the roles was reversed, no child need to be talked to like that. No child need to be talked to like that. Kids make if a kid can't make a mistake at a park doing something that they shouldn't have done and not even realizing what they doing for real, where's a kid safe? But let's watch Omar's interview. Well, not interview, excuse me. He put up a video explaining what he's now going through. Let's check that out now.
Mr. Mark Umar, I'm the guy who recorded that video of that racist woman that was insulting a 5-year-old child at the park here in Rochester, Minnesota. May I remind you guys, I have a clean criminal record. I've never committed a crime in my life. I am being punished for standing up, speaking up for a child. My address got leaked, my phone got leaked. I'm getting death threats by the minute. I have 4 children, the youngest one on the spectrum. He needs to go play outside every day. He can't anymore. So, doing the right thing gets you punished, and doing the wrong thing gets you rewarded. Make that make sense, America.
Well, I mean, listen, bro, if you expecting America to do anything for you, and I'm pretty sure you was a Somali, it's a lot of Somali, big Somali population out in Minnesota, you getting double discriminated against because for one, they're going to consider you an immigrant. They're going to say you really need to go back to your country. And I'm not saying that jokingly, for real. I'm just saying the mindset of certain people. That's why I'm saying, yeah, put all that shit back up. Let us know what we welcome. Let us know what we not welcome so we could keep our kids away too. So if our kids make a mistake, they ain't got to be called out their name and disrespected. You know what I'm saying? Like, people say things when they angry, but that ain't it. This is how this woman truly feels. But let's talk more about how she's feeling now that she's almost up $1 million. So she says, where do I begin? The overwhelming support that my family and myself have received is unbelievable. I've never felt so scared, yet reassured in my life. It's truly a whirlwind of emotions. We are currently doing okay. No one has been harmed, and we are getting by. We're taking the proper procedures in order to stay safe in these constant threats. I'm still very frightened, and I don't think I feel safe until we can escape completely. I'm so grateful to all of you who have donated to my family. I never would have imagined that we would be supported to such an extreme. It still feels as if it's too good to be true. It's too good to be true. Listen, I said it before, man. Last thing you want to be fighting against is a white woman's tears. And it's all going to disappear. It's such a strange feeling to be living in a blissful dream and nightmare simultaneously. So this is a dream. She got to, listen, she got to say the word she been saying in private, because, I mean, I'm pretty sure if she was saying this in public, we would have heard about it before. If there was a video of her saying it, we would have heard about it before. But the word that she been using her whole life to describe black people, and if he acts like that, that's what I'm going to call him. Not so a kid going in and taking something is only exclusive to black kids. That's how we define them as, right? But she says, thank you all for your continuous support and love. We have to keep fighting for the safety of our families, not just mine. Shiloh. Come on, man. Come on, yo. I mean, this got Boondocks episode written all over it. Remember the S word? You know what I'm saying? Like, but for real, man, on a serious, very, 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 very serious note, if you black, if you dealing with certain type of environments, I mean, let me tell you something. I'm black. I live in a very, very prestigious neighborhood. I live in a very, like, country club, all of this. I still got, every time it's certain people I still got to look at with a little eye, like, is they, you know what I mean? Because they make you feel like that. Because just living here still ain't enough. It's times where I drive out, you know what I mean? I got a nice car, you know what I mean? Drive around, and then certain people that don't live on my block, because everybody on my block, we all know each other, but certain people that don't live on my block that might just be walking through the neighborhood, I turn the corner and they be looking, like, staring. Because there's a lot of joggers and dog walkers around here. They be staring like, what he doing here? What they doing here? My oldest daughter, she was here one time and she said hello to one of our neighbors that lives down the street. It was a white lady. Looked her dead in her face and looked up and down and kept it moving. I'm like, damn. So you know what? Even when you got a couple dollars, it still ain't enough for them. Now, this ain't to all white people. You know what I mean? This ain't to all of them. Because there's people who have good hearts and good intentions and all of that. But seeing something like this really disgusted me, y'all, for real. Like I said, I had my own personal experience with a situation like that when I was young. And for me to be the man I am today, like, everything I remember in my life is either extremely, like, great or extremely traumatic. Everything else in between is kind of like a blur. But everything that was really, really good or really, really bad from the time I was a child up until now, I remember vividly. And that's one of them situations. I hope that kid, the kid who, you know, was called out of his name, I hope his moms and his family find peace, man. And I hope they get away from wherever that place is at, man. Because that lady need to get up out of it, whatever it is, man. Because I don't think we should run when we find our place to settle and have, you know, and live at. But, like, just to see how people was treating kids out here, you think they gonna spare you? Let's stop being against one another and start being a little bit more together and start really realizing who our true oppressor is. This is I do it myself. For the ones that rock with me, know how we doing. For the ones that don't, eventually you will. Stay sucker free. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.